I get those goosebumps every time. I need the Heimlich, throw that to the side. I get.
Greetings, technicians. This is Adam and Crow here, your coach of the Toronto Star Raptors, bringing you another team builder of the PCL, the Pokemon Champions League. This week we are taking on Coach Clutch in an epic rematch. He's the coach of the Houston Hustles, and it is actually one of the coach in our division that beat us earlier this season. So let's see if the Raptors can make our revenge against him this week in the rematch. So even though this is the second week of the finals, I guess the second week of the regular season for the PCL, nobody's I guess clinched or guaranteed playoffs within our conference and our division. So it's actually a really tight race. So the crazy thing is that even if the Raptors do pop a W this week against Clutch, we're still not guaranteed playoffs, I don't believe. So let's see if the Raptors can indeed bring ourselves one step closer to that playoff spot this week. Let's see what we have for him. Let's just get started, shall we? So first of all, we have Incursion Hydreigon, which is something that I brought against him last time around. I brought a choice spec variant, packing coverage. I believe it was Flamethrower for the Whimsicott, which he had last time. It just hits so incredibly hard against his team. He doesn't really have a switch in. His steel type, being that the blade, is also weak to my other stab, which is a dark stab. This was last time around. This time I brought a choice scarf variant. This is just the best set for Hydreigon overall. I brought Choice Scarf Hydreigon many times throughout the regular season, simply because it just it has a really good speed tier against my opponent most of the time, and especially this week. His roster did change a little bit since the last time we played, and he did drop his Groundium Z Crystal for the Munium Z. That's another reason why I have Choice Scarf on the Hydreigon, in case he does set up the Psychic Terrain. With his Mew, priorities will not work against him. So I'll need a way to guarantee that my Hydreigon outspeed him and be able to check him in that regard. And the moves are pretty straightforward. U-turn, Dark Pulse, Draco Media, and Flash Cannon. Flash Cannon is there to hit the Aromatisse, which is another fairy he picked up after he dropped the Whimsicott, which was picked up by Fury and then instantly traded to the Raptors the week after. So we do have Whimsicott on our side this time around. So the EV spreads are very straightforward as well, but it's very essential in a sense that I am running max special attack with a Timid Nature, just enough speed to outrun a speed boosting nature max speed Landorus, and this spread also allows me obviously to outspeed a Mew that's not choice scarfed, which is very unlikely to come, and again to check that potential psychic terrain set up by the Munium Z, and this spawn just very good overall against his team. Once I get rid of Aromatisse, I can just lock myself into Dark Pulse for potential flinches as well. Just the rest of the EVs in HP. So up next we have Vortex, the Mega Scizor, packing the Scizorite and the Ability Technician, of course. And the moves are the moves sets are Bullet Punch, Swords Dance, Roost, and Knockoff. So last time he didn't really prepare for Clef, in my opinion, so I want to be able to take advantage of that this time around. I am bringing the Clefable, as you can see up here, and this Scizor is actually helped me to check two of his main answers to Clef, mainly being the Nihilego and which checks Clefable offensively, and something that can check Clefable defensively, which is the Doublade, if he so decide to bring that. It is a pretty good bring against me in case I do bring that Donphan to check his I guess Nihilego offensively and defensively in a sense. He can try to spin block my rapid spins coming from the Donphan if he so decide to bring that Doublade. As you can see, I am packing a knockoff for that Doublade specifically, and initially I think I had U-turn or something, or it was another offensive move. I don't remember. I had to switch up to knockoff because the Doublade was actually walling the hell out of my Scizor in my mock against Lo-Fi, which he did bring that Doublade. Bullet Punch obviously is there for priority, and the Nihilego primarily, and the I guess the Swords Dance is there to help me set up, and Ruse is for general recovery. The EV spreads is Careful Nature with 32 points in depth, mainly in defense, and just enough attack to be able to have a 93% chance to OCO a Nihilego that's not invested in HP from foe, and just a rest in max HP. Pretty straightforward, and the special defense investment with Careful Nature actually ensure me to live a non-life orb, I believe HP fire coming from the Nihilego, as well as just taking the scouts a little bit better from the Suicune and be able to set up Swords Dances accordingly. The one thing to note, this thing does get hard walled by Suicune, but I do have other answers, being the Whimsicott. Clefable can beat it one-on-one, as well as the Toxapex. So up next we do have Winter Jr. the Toxapex packing the Blood Sludge with that regenerator ability. Last time around I didn't really have Toxapex against him. I had Slowking as my bulky water, which is weak to his double dark, mainly being the Houndoom and the Sharpedo. Sharpedo actually gave me a lot of trouble last time around. This time I have to make sure I bring something to be able to check that. Now that I don't have Slowking anymore, my bulky water will be my Toxapex. Packing the moves Haze, Recover, Scald, and Toxic Spikes. Haze is there for his setup in case he does have that on the Mew or the Suicune. Primarily the Suicune, simply because the Mew can just bust out a Psychic and blow on its back after a Nasty Plot or a Calm Mind. Recover is there for recovery, obviously. Scald is there for Scald for potential burns, and Toxic Spikes it's very good against him, simply because he's only I believe he only has two form of hazard removal via a defog. He doesn't have a rapid spinner, one of them being the Rotom Mole, and the other one being the Mew. I'm not sure because I don't have the list right here beside me, but I'm pretty sure these two are his primary defoggers if he so decide to bring them. And the Toxic Spikes, it just helps me rack up damage against his team. If he does bring in that Nihilego though, it gives me Toxapex every single time, and he's not gonna go hard Nihilego on Toxapex simply because I do have Scald for that thing, and it provides me Scald and Toxic Spikes mind games if he brings in Nihilego while my Toxapex is not in on the field. I can just go freely to my Toxapex and either set up my Toxic Spikes again or go for another Scald to pressure him from switching into his offensive threats that can threaten out Toxic Spikes, primarily that Lando T. He doesn't want to get that thing burned or crippled in any way. So up next we have the Winry, the Whimsicott. She's joined the Raptors this time around, packing the leftovers and the ability Prankster. This set gets hard walled by a lot of things on his team, primarily his dark type, simply because Prankster any move doesn't affect his dark types, and Encore doesn't work against his Aromatisse because I do know that it gets Aroma Veil, or whatever. Its ability, its signature ability, which protects it from encoring. I mean, encore and the taunt and stuff like that. But in case he does set up Mew or set up Suicune, I have to have Encore as a backup or safety net against them. And Leech Seed is there for recovery, as I don't have any reliable recovery outside of leftovers. Of course, he can safely go Rotom Mole on this thing, but what is Rotom gonna do back to me anyways, right? So and Defog is there for hazard removal in case he does get them up with both Lando T or the Mew or the Judagon. Judagon is something that I expect to come, as well as he did mention that in his last builder he designed that thing to specifically take on the Victini, so that's something I have to keep in mind. And if he does come, he probably have fire coverage for the Scizor as well. So my Scizor is not going to be a very safe answer to that thing. So I would want to be able to switch into that and potentially get off a Moonblast or a Defog against them. And up next, we do have the other Fairy that basically is our win con this week primarily. And I did change up from my ability from Magikarp to Unaware last minute, simply because I didn't want to him to set up with his Handum with Nasty Blood, or his Nihilego in case it gets not speed boost, just beast boost rolling in general. I want to be able to switch in case he's choice scarfed and locked himself into Power Jam, as it is actually very good against my team. I don't have a switch into Power Jam overall. As you can see, I don't have a resist. My steel type doesn't resist rock, and if he does get a beast boost rolling, it can get very scary very quick. So I would like to be able to have that unaware ability to ignore that and potentially hit him up with a side shock, as he might not expect that. So that's my moveset: Moonblast, Calm Minds, Side Shock, and Moonlight. I have to run Moonlight because I'm running the ability Unaware, and Side Shock of course is there to hit the Nihilego, and Calm Mind is there for setup, and Moonblast is there for stab. Coming to the EV spreads, is another mostly physically defensive set with max HP and a little bit of mostly physically defensive with a bold nature, a little bit of special defense investment, and 4-inch attack, just so that my Moonblast will hit a little bit better, or I can get up Calm Minds faster. I mean, my my EVs are gonna get so basically just boosting my SPDEF so that my multiplier from Calm Mind will do more. So that was my idea there, so pretty straightforward as well. Once his team is weakened enough and I scout out his Scarfers or potential Trickers, that's another thing I have to keep an eye on. I believe both Mew and Rotom Cut gets Trick, so if those two are choice scarfed in any way, I don't want my Clef to be tricked. My initial switch into a potential choice lock Rotom mode would be my Incursion the Hydreigon, as I am choice scarfed myself. So unless he somehow choice banded variant, try to just rely on Trick, which I don't think he's gonna bring. I'll be able to take that Trick pretty well, whether if it's a choice scarf or a choice spec. I can just take those and fire off a big Dark Pulse, or just a U-turn, as I do force him out anyways. So I believe that's it for Clefable. For our final member here, we do have Ara the Victini. Coming, I think he's been coming here every single game except for that one game. I forgot which week it was. But anyways, I am packing a choice spec this week again with a special attacking set. The moves are Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam, Blue Flare, and Side Shock, very similar to the set that I brought against White Lotus the other day. Dazzling Gleam is there specifically for the Judagon, as he's probably gonna bring that Judagon in against my Victini, so I can just straight up go for Dazzling Gleam if I be able to 2-hit KO that thing if I do scout for that. And Thunderbolt is there to hit the Suicune. It's gonna hit pretty hard if he's a physically defensive variant. Just without Calm Minds in general, I'll be able to 2-hit KO that thing as well. Blue Flare is there for just general stab. It's the move that will be most likely to click if he doesn't have a fire resist or he doesn't bring that Handum, which is a fire immunity pre-mega. And Side Shock is there for just anything that resists Blue Flare, primarily the Suicune, where I don't have to predict going for a T-Bolt if he does bring his electric immunity or electric resist. The EV spreads here are pretty straightforward as well, just max special attack and max speed with modest nature. Initially I was running a timid nature, but I want that additional damage. Even if he does bring the Mew, I don't think he's gonna bring a speed boosting nature Mew with a offensive moveset. It's most likely not gonna. I mean, he can, but it's not what I expect overall. And if he does bring Landorus with a speed boosting nature, it's probably or most likely gonna be Choice Scarf anyway. Okay, so basically, if he's gonna bring a non-speed boosting nature Landorus with Choice Scarf, that makes more sense. If he is gonna bring I don't expect him to bring a speed boosting nature Landorus, because even with max speed, it doesn't outspeed Hydreigon, so it doesn't make any sense. So it's either gonna be a more physically offensive set with either Band or Choice Scarf, which Band I can just outspeed. If it's Choice Scarf, I am just gonna So I will definitely scout for that for sure. But I'm not gonna be able to outspeed anyway with a choice spec Victini. So I don't really need a speed investment on that. And the additional damage is nice. So I basically guarantee to outspeed whatever I need to outspeed. And for those things that I am not gonna be able to outspeed, no matter how much I invest in, I'm not gonna be able to outspeed anyways. And at the same time, I get to keep my damage by running a modest nature. So yeah, and pretty the 250 to 252. The other thing is, in case he does want to bring basically a offensive new, and I will like to be able to at least speed tie that thing. That's what the 252 252, the double 252s are for. Words. Anyways, yeah, I guess that's the end of the builder. Hope you guys enjoyed and look forward to the match. This is gonna be Admin Crow here signing off. See you guys in the match. Goodbye, technicians.